Hello, YAHAWAH, Bahashim, YAHAWASHI, Bahashim Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who teach and rule well. Salutations to you brothers in the highways and byways. Salutations also goes out to you brothers and sisters tuning in, listening, and learning. I'm the brother Malak from the Diligent Soldier camp here in Boston, Mass. As always, I pray this lesson be edifying to the elect. The name of this one will be Our Power is Our Refuge and Strength. Our power, YAHAWAH, Bahashim YAHAWASHI, is our refuge and strength. And you know, the water Yahawah, Bahashim YAHAWASHI for inspiring me to bring this lesson out. I pray that it be edifying, right, to the elect, because it's all about the elect. It has to do with a man by the name of Harley Pasternak, all right, who's actually, let me see here, Salakia, who's actually so-called trainer of, a personal trainer of Kanye West, right, aka Ye. The reason I'm bringing this out, man, is because, you know, our people, especially those of that are in that have received their consolation, right? They trust in their enemy, right? They have dealings with their enemies. They have business with their enemies. They sleep with their enemies. You know, they love their enemies, man. You know, and over and over and over again, these devils, our enemy, our main enemy, right? The house of Esau, especially the top tribe of them all, Amalek, right? The so-called Jewish people over there, the 1948ers, the big noses, the small caps, right? The dudes with the Abraham Lincoln hats that have nothing to do with scriptures. These people over and over again show us exactly how they feel about us. Call hello, Yahawah, Bahashim YAHAWASHI, 414 in front of me. All praises to Yahawah, Bahashim YAHAWASHI, and Abarat Tazah. We're following that number, right, to get the hell up out of here, because that's what we're hasting on, man, the day of the Lord. And we're hoping that the Lord saves us, man. And through these epistles, these electronic or cyber epistles, if you may, we give warning, right? Because we are the Most High Father's mouthpiece, man. He speaks through the prophets and through his teachers, through the men that he has set up to bring the 100% truth out, the 144% truth, right? Everything pertaining to salvation. Because as the scripture says, we know in part, so we prophesy in part. But you better bet that what we prophesy on is exactly what we need to know, and why we say we have the 144% truth, starting with our apostles from GMS on down, right, and like-minded camps that teach the same. We humbly and proudly say, right, or boldly say that we have the 144% truth, man, because it's everything that has to do with salvation. We don't speak on anything else that is outside of that, man, right? So scripture says, man, the Lord's thoughts are higher than ours are lower. So therefore, you know, there's things that we don't even understand, or even can begin to understand in this flesh, right? But the scriptures say that we will know things, man. He's always going to be the Most High, though, right? Obviously, but you know, he's going to put us on to a lot more information, man. But I don't want to get sidetracked, man. You know, the reason I'm bringing out this lesson is because, you know, I came up on a post that read, who is Harley Pasternak? The man whom Kanye West has accused of trying to institutionalize him, drug him into oblivion, and take his kids away. As it turns out, this personal trainer, in quotation, is connected to psychological operations, the Canadian military, and other strangeness, right? And his Wikipedia, shortly after Kanye West basically outed him, or, you know, put him out there. His Wikipedia has been altered, right? Has been changed. Things have been taken out, and in particular, the dealings that he had with Kanye West. Not detailed dealings, but just a connection between him and Kanye West, man. You know, and you could tell this man is a devil. You know, I'll make sure to put his the information I came about in on the at the end of this lesson, at the end of the video, so you guys can read for yourself, maybe do some research on it, whatever have you, right? So our people believe wholeheartedly and trust in these people, man. And over and over and over again, man, Esau, the Edomite, so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, they continue to show their true colors and how they feel with Jake, man. You know, here it is. This man has not said anything hostile, but and I agree he could have chose his words wiser than that, right? He said DEFCON 7 or whatever he was. He could have gone into he could have chose that phrase a little wiser. But even after that, everything that he said wasn't anything that could even be considered hostile. But because Esau and the masters of these people, right, the master of these people, doesn't agree, or not so much doesn't agree, doesn't want that information to come out, they will deem this man, make him to look crazy, right? Make him to look like, you know, he's unfit to either be a father or even hold his own as a man, right? They publicly shamed him. They took his money. I don't know if he had it all in his bank or whatever, but the point is, you know, Jay cannot escape these curses, man. And one of them being that we were gonna be sowing much and putting our money, right, in bags of with holes, man. And all Jake does is talk about getting to the money, getting to the bag, and they never know that bag has holes on it and can never be fully full because of the curses. And Amalek is the one that starting with Amalek, but the Edomite nation is the one that make those holes in there, in those bags, man. You know, because we constantly have to be paying them for, you know, whether it's taxes and other forms of payments, man. As the scripture says that we're subject to payments, right? This man has lost a crazy amount of money for stating his grievances, right, or expressing himself. You know, here it is. We say that this is the land of the free, but and how we could basically have free speech, but this man clearly is not granted that. You know, so-called blacks and Latinos can't just come out and say whatever the heck they want. You know, and Esau will remind you when you niggas get too comfortable, man, right? And he did so by suspending Kyrie Irving, another man that didn't say anything hostile or violent against these people. And that's exactly how the media is spinning it, to the point where the gatekeepers, as the elder Bernard Zakbar made a lesson beautifully on it. Who are the gatekeepers, right? Your Shaquille O'Neals, your Charles Barkleys, you know, your Jay-Z's, all these people, LeBron James, all these people that Esau could call on, and at a drop of a dime, you know, they'll come out in defense for Esau, man, in particular the Amalekites, man, right? And so I got a few scriptures lined up, right? And I'm gonna keep it short, just the intro. That sometimes I make it a little long, just to explain and give context, man, because our people keep trusting in these people, no matter how much they bite back, no matter how much, you know, they show you blatantly that they hate you, right? Because you got people that say not all white people are bad, but, you know, little do you know, or little do you ever expect for that old lady that lives in your neighborhood to go viral after she didn't let a so-called Latino or so-called black man enter the building because she's never seen him there before, and she's asking for ID, and like they will never stop a stranger, white man, a white stranger. They'll never do that. Salakia. But they'll definitely do it to a Jake, man. And no matter how many times this happens over and over and over again for centuries, our people just don't get it, man. They still want to become celebrities, knowing sometimes 8 out of 10 times knowing that they're gonna have handlers and they're gonna have people that are over them, basically, right? And this is one of those cases, man. You got this guy Harley, Pastor Nick, is Kanye West's handler, basically, man. All these celebrities have handlers assigned to them. It boggles me sometimes, though, because Jake don't let nobody in their inner circles, right? Especially other Jakes when you don't know them, but they're quick to let all these people inside their lives when they're on their way up to success, right? And Esau knows this, man, and takes advantage of it, and he sows in these control opposition people, man, right? And these people that are set up to handle Jake, because Jake can't be a loose cannon out here. Jake can't be free and express himself freely. Esau just doesn't want that, right? As I always forget his name, I think it was Edgar Hoover, said that there will never be another Messiah or black Messiah unless we create him. They're not gonna let critical thinking, conscious people to Jakes, might I add, to have any type of opinion, have any type of influence if it's not controlled by them, man. Okay? And this man has used different drugs. And matter of fact, let me see if I find. There's another one saying, what sort of stuff is researched at DRC, right? And this is a place that this man is known to work for, right? It says human system integration, social and psychological factors that affect the resolution of conflict, psychology of malicious intent, social and cultural factors influencing behavior. Okay, we all knew and thought that Kanye was a little loose up there, man, in the head, man, especially when before and after the whole Trump and red hat wearing, that blonde hair that he had. Lock you, man, that's Satan. That blonde hair that he had and all the stupid things that he was saying back in the day that really didn't have anything to do with nothing really, but just him being an influencer out here, right? But Esau didn't have no problems with it. So-called white people, so-called Jews, didn't have no type of problems with him acting crazy. It's only when he's not acting crazy and he's finally had it with the way that he's treated and he sees his people treated, that when he speaks about it, that's when it's a problem, right? So here it is. This guy works for a place where they study these things, and he's quoted by saying, and I think I saw the video, but I didn't pay attention to it until I came across this post, which basically said that he's quoted by saying, working for the military, I wasn't governed by the same laws that a typical person was. So I could look at the impact of certain drugs that are not everyday things, right? This man is like a resource to the Department of Defense out here, because his studies go into basically how to keep soldiers up for 3 days straight, right? To able to take their an action at a perfect time, right? Precision time, if I said that right. But basically, the dude is a mad scientist, man, and he uses all types of different drugs, right? Which we know what type of drugs or what scriptures say about basically drugs and who these people really are, right? I have this one scripture pulled up in the Blue Letter Bible, and it's Revelations chapter 22. I'll start at 14, right? Because YAHAWASHI here is speaking to Israelites, but when you read 15, it also speaking about Israelites, but these are also, it's twofold, because this is exactly how heathens are likened to or looked at by our people, starting with, you know, our power Yahweh, YAHAWASHI on down, right? So Revelation chapter 22 verse 14 says, blessed are they that do the commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. Right? Because when the way you love Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai is by keeping his commandments. That's the love of the Lord, the true love of the Lord, not the mere human way that we think it is, by loving each other. Because even to love each other, we must treat each other right. You know, you just can't. Love is an action, so you have to put that to an act, right? So long story short, man, you know, verse 15 says, for without are dogs and sorcerers, and that's the point, right? But I'm going to continue finishing the scripture out. It says, for without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. Right? And this is why I say this is twofold, because our heathens, this is exactly what they do. This is how they live their life, right? These are the morals that they govern themselves with. More than half the time, you know. Some of them are somewhat righteous, right? Because but even that little bit of righteousness or righteousness that they may seem they have stems from scriptures, man. You know, for example, like those people out there in the women that in the East that are Muslims, you know, they had got their head coverings and all this stuff, man. So they don't go off in that way, right? Because that's exactly how women should be covered, right? But they go off and, you know, praying to a dumb idol, right? Allah and whatever, and all these other things, right? So that makes them idolaters, right? And liars, because they push that belief, you know, they preach that belief. But both men and women, right? But my point, right, to this lesson is the word sorcerer, right? Because when you go into the word sorcery or sorcerer, and it's found in other scriptures, right, in Acts and Job, I believe, when you go into sorcerer, Salakia, and you go to concordance, right, and you go to the word sorcerers, is it comes out G5333, and it's pharmakos. Let me see. Yeah, when you go into that word, G5333 is pharmakos or pharmakos, right? And the outline biblical usage is pertaining to magical arts, and when you go to the root, you know, you should already start thinking about what modern word we use. It reminds you of, right? Because when you go into the in the etymology, it says pharmakios is the root word of it. Is G5332, pharmakios or pharmakias. This is where you get pharmacies, you know, pharmaceuticals. This is where you get that word from, right? It's a Greek word. And when you go to the outline biblical usage of it, it tells you the following: one who prepares or uses magical remedies, a sorcerer. So these people that use these so-called remedies, right, or these potions, these cocktails, or the so-called drugs or medicine, the ones that make them and the ones that basically gives to people to use, are known as sorcerers in the scriptures, man. That's exactly what that goes down to, man. Your local pharmacy is nothing but a haven of sorcerers, man. A pit of sorcerers, man. You know, And those big pharmaceutical companies are a bunch of witchcrafting sorcerers, man, who practice sorcery, and they know this. They absolutely know this, man. All right, because there's nothing new. These people have been doing this for centuries, man. It's just gone corporate and modern now, But now the scripture I want to bring out from that, because they use these drugs, and this is a quick precept for it, is the book of Job 13. The book of Job, chapter 13, verse 4, it says, "But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value." These people make all these companies, right? These Edomites are responsible for making all these drugs, right? Which is sorcery, and none of these drugs cure anybody, right? They don't do anything for anybody. They actually open you up to demons, man, to be susceptible to spirits. Foul spirits, left-hand spirits of the Lord, to basically enter you, man, and run your house, run your body, right? But the scriptures are saying, but ye are foragers of lies. Those foragers of lies are these Edomites, man, starting with Amalek on down. These people are nothing but foragers of lies, man, and our people eat it up, man. And the people that they've set up, so-called doctors, man, they're physicians of no value. They, the scriptures tell you to I don't know if it says salute or reward a physician, right? Because someone that is doing it on the right hand side, right, using the natural remedies, natural medicine that the Lord made, as it says in the Apocrypha, if I'm not mistaken, in the book of Ecclesiasticus. It was made for medicine, and that we shouldn't abhor it. A wise person wouldn't abhor it, wouldn't find it, gross or disgusting, or like, nah, I'm not messing with that, right? But these people have us thinking, the majority of our people thinking that, you have to take, a bowl of fucking different pills every morning, which is their breakfast half the time, for your blood pressure and for your nausea and for this and for that, a whole bunch of different things, right? Your thyroid, all types of medicine. You blink too much, or when you blink it hurts, they give you medicine for all of that, so-called medicine for all of that. But the scriptures air these people out, man, and they call them forgers of lie, right? And you don't see no religious groups speaking out against this, when the Bible that they claim to read in the churches and amongst themselves, or when they're in the private, it seems like they never go in these scriptures, man. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 12. It says, "As for my people, children are their oppressors, right? And women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the ways of thy paths." They that lead thee, man, these false prophets and these so-called pastors from these churches are the they in this scripture. They're the they in this scripture. Those are the people that are leading our people into the to err and into paths that basically lead to destruction to our people, man. None of these people, you don't hear Creflo Dollar, you don't hear TD Snakes, right? You don't hear no other these famous Christian people, Christian pastors coming out speaking against what's going on. Even when it's in the news that this man is being drugged up with these things, they don't come out and speak none of it, man. But our people still trust us so much that they still want to become celebrities, man, knowing that the devil sows these snakes in the midst of your growth in the so-called entertainment career, or entertaining career that you're coming up in, man. And we know these things, us in the know, so we're totally against it. We speak against it. We teach the understanding of what's going on. You're not gonna hear these things nowhere else but of the men of the Lord, man, that bring these things out, man. So it will behoove people that are, your first time is coming into this, man, to take heed to that, man. And the brothers and sisters that already have a while doing this, whether it's 6 months, 3 years, 5 years to continue in that walk, man. Walking with Yahawah by Hashem YAHAWASHI, because as I said earlier, as the title of the lesson, man, our power is the refuge and strength. He's our refuge and strength, man. Okay, this is the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 14. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and has been assured of. What things have we learned and been assured of? Well, who we are, what the names of the Lord is, well, how important, what the name of the Father and the Son is, and how important it is to call upon those names and pray upon on those names. The laws, statutes, and commandments that we're supposed to keep to the best of our ability, because we know also that it's not going to save us, right? It's I believe in Yahawah Bashim Yahushai, that YAHAWASHI in particular, that's going to save us, right? But we know that we can't. We were never given an option to break the laws, neither, man. We were never given license to do so, because transgression and the wages of sin is death, man, right? So we know that we're supposed to keep it to the best of our ability, because we're not in our rest, we're not in our kingdom just yet. So even if we wanted to, we wouldn't be able to keep every single law that's out there. But that just still doesn't mean to break it. That still doesn't mean to go murder. It still doesn't mean to go sleep with another man's wife, man, right? It still doesn't mean to drink blood, to eat things that are defiled, that are unclean. It does not mean so, man. All right, so from the top again, 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 14, but continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and has been assured of. We've been assured of these things, man. And it goes on to say, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. We learned this. I personally learned this from the apostles on down, man. Right? I was going through something with my son when he got diagnosed with autism, and I felt strongly that I could cure him by because I knew that the Lord had made medicine, man. And then there's no disease or issue or problem that snuck into this world without the Lord knowing of. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like he made this earth and he was going to be surprised by things that come up in the future. No, man. There's ways around it, man. But now that I know, it's through the Lord, man, because he heals, he wounds and he heals, right? But in the midst of what I was going through, searching for all types of things to cure my son and make him better, I stumbled upon that lesson that I forget his name, this brother made. It was called The Hidden Identity of Blacks in the Bible. And since I listened to that lesson and watched it multiple times, man, I found the truth, man, basically, man. And after some time, I came upon the apostles of GMS, or brothers in GMS, and then I knew who the apostles were and how it worked out. What was the difference between GMS and other camps, and other camps, the difference between camps and other camps, so on and so forth. And so I know who I've learned this truth from, man. Men that are renowned and are great men, right? And have been doing the work for 35 plus years, man, 40 plus years. Okay, and they continue doing well, doing so, and being great examples to us younger brothers, man. Like you can't say that about other camp leaders, man. They go off in a lot of other things, man. These brothers, these apostles, answer all questions, man. They're ready to go into all subjects, man, whether people want to hear it or not. They'll get the answers from the scriptures, man. And likewise, we've learned these things. We've gone into the scriptures, and now we could do the same, right? And we continue doing so, because I'm not trying to compare myself personally to those great men. I just started this. I'm a mere babe in my 4 years of going out and teaching, right, and prophesying. I'm still a babe, and I can speak for my camp when I say that we're all babes. But nonetheless, man, that's who I personally learned it from, man, and I hold fast to that, man. Okay, I want to end off this lesson with this last scripture, the book of Psalms chapter 46, and I think I'll just do one. verse 1. Let me see. Yeah, I'll leave it at 1. The point is really at 1 that I'm trying to make. The whole chapter is beautiful, though. It behoove you brothers to get into it too. But my the lesson, I wanted to end it with this first verse right here. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 46, verse 1. It says, God is our refuge and strength. Yahawah, Bahashem YAHAWASHI, is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Okay, these celebrities don't know this. Kanye West does not know this. This is why he was trusting in these in Esau and not knowing that this personal trainer was just a whole sorcerer, a whole witch that bewitched him, right? That got him, and now this is the latter end of or the latter end of the result of Kanye West dealing with these devils, man, and letting them in his life, man. This man is destroyed. At least he repents, which I don't see him doing so, since he's so, ears deep into the in this life, man, right? And his money, he doesn't want to lose that. He doesn't want to lose his children, right? But the scripture says, he who forsaketh his basically his family and his life and his children don't love Yahawah, Bahashem YAHAWASHI, and also are not worthy of Yahawah, Bahashem YAHAWASHI, and therefore, don't know that when you do that, when you forsake all these things, all these people and your life, you're gonna have 100 folds in the kingdom, man. All right. So I pray that this lesson was edifying. It was just pointing out how our people still trust, even after knowing how Esau true colors is, and how they show it blatantly, and how we see examples of it with celebrities. Our people are still willing to climb to the top of this wicked cesspool of life here in Babylon, man, just to make it to superstardom, man, just to receive their consolation in this side, man. Okay, so I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to say, Kohalo Yahawah, Bahashem YAHAWASHI, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who teach and rule well. Salutations to you brothers in the highways and byways, making your body a living sacrifice. Salutations always also goes out to you brothers and few sisters who tune in to listen and learn. Shalom. And DTA, Ababa Ball, Kwam Yashala.